Can they change the 2 days?
Oh, 2 days?
Yeah,
That's
that's
legit.
good.
Okay, get that sorted.
And they send you this bottle?
So, okay, so there's 4 different folders. You have the main room that has the main stage and drums.
Okay, everybody, it is Sally. No, Laura. She's sick today. Jimmy's around here somewhere. And
Because all of
let me make sure. Okay, everything looks good. All right. Hey, everybody. Sally. And we have a special guest today with us named Cindy.
Hi, everybody.
And she was here today and yesterday, and we had, I was so happy because she was here doing a special class for us with the FOV
Creative
Expression 750s. Now, we still have some to sell if you're interested in a sewing and embroidery machine, and they're real special prices, right, Cindy?
You guys are
That's
awesome.
They
right.
are. And they're-
Because they were brought in for the event and we've sewn them off with a few hours of sewing, they're no longer sold at the manufacturer's price.
And they work well because we've tested
We've tested them
Yes.
and they still come with a full warranty.
Exactly. And we've weeded out the one that didn't work well. That is correct. And it was a great, fun class. I'm certainly sad you missed it if you didn't come. And everybody learned a ton. So tell us a little bit about what you taught.
So today we did this project. I think if I hold it up,
Yeah, and
This
I
way
can
you can
zoom
see.
it. Let me grab. Here it is. Yeah, I
Can you
can
see that?
zoom in. Let me zoom.
so this is the mini Zen quilt, and this is a project that was designed by my colleague and good friend Christine Harlan. She is another educator for SVP, as I am.
You're good.
There we go.
Yeah.
And she was traveling and spending time in a hotel room, as we do quite a bit for this job, and she saw this hanging on a wall. She saw a watercolor painting and thought, oh, I could do that in the embroidery. So she digitized this using her idea and what she saw in the painting in the hotel room. And we were able to do this with fabric by exploring some of the decorative stitches and the special technique stitches on our FOF sewing and embroidery machines. And then we used applique embroidery in the hoop, and we were really able to incorporate a lot of different techniques because before I got here, Sally cut out all the rock-shaped pieces using the Memento cutting machine.
Oh,
And
and that was
that
so
was
cool because it
really
was so
slick.
easy. Yeah.
And I have a couple different versions because you can make this in different colors, and I've quilted some of them differently. These were done using the Creative 8 software to quilt in the background. You can see the little
Sorry.
random free motion quilting in
Sally's
the
not doing
background.
the very good job. She's a little cross. I'm tired. I'd be
Okay.
tired.
And then this one was actually free motion quilted by me with just trying to echo quilt using the echo quilting foot. So it gave us a lot of opportunity to explore decorative stitches and then applique in the hoop, and it was really quite a bit of fun. We also had some time to go over and look at sergers, and we made some little zipper bags with the serger that took about 4 minutes each after the instruction, and I think everyone had a really good time.
I think so too. And they learned a lot about the machines. It's not the least expensive machine, but it's not by any means the most expensive machine. And it's one of the machines that you can get started in, and you can do a ton of things on it.
Well, and the thing I really like about the new 750 is that it is a midline machine with a midline price, and it has many of the features in the same operating system as our top of the line machines. So the things that you've only seen previously, like our create shape function, are actually on the 750. And because it has the same operating system, it also has the FOF Stitch Creator, which can be used to edit, enhance, or build your own stitches.
Which is really a super awesome, neat thing.
It's one of my favorite features.
Yes.
And
it
this
is.
also has the beautiful wide up to 54 millimeter
Yeah.
maxi stitches, which are my favorite on the FOF line.
I don't think we have any examples of those.
No,
on
those
there.
have gone
Those all
home
went
with
home
today's
everybody.
participants.
Yeah, they liked them so much they
Oh,
took
I
them
have
home
one
with
here,
them.
but I don't know that they can see this pink
We could,
stitch.
yeah, we can put.
I don't think you can see it. We're gonna have
If
to
you
move
walk
to
over
another
there
camera.
by that big that camera over there, we can switch to camera 1, and then you see, there you go, and then just move that's the camera there,
Mhm.
and just move the camera down. Rotate, yeah, there we go.
So there you can see that really big, wide, beautiful floral stitch in the pink. And that is one of the wide maxi stitches on the FOF. Those are some of my favorite stitches. I think they're really stunning, and I feel like no one does that like FOF, even though many other machines have very pretty maxi stitches.
So one of the cool things is, so we cut that shape out with the Memento, which we said, which is cool. But we use the instant applique from Wonderfill. I know I've talked about that before if you've watched Ramblin' Thursday. The coolest thing about that is we didn't have to get out irons.
Well,
It's
and
just already sticky.
the thing that I liked about it was it made it so much easier to position the appliques. And today was the first time I've really worked with this product. And we had already applied that to the back and then did the decorative stitching over that using the shiny side of freezer paper to hold it. We could peel that off and then stick it right to the fabric once we had done the placement line with the embroidery
Yeah,
machine.
so it's super awesome. And then you don't have to pull it out of the hoop or pull the hoop out and put a little iron on there. You can just stick it right in once you're embroidering it. So the placement stitches, it just sticks right on there. Now, it's not permanent because it'll wash out, but that doesn't matter because your embroidery is sewing it down. So it's so much easier because in the olden days, you had fusible web, so then you had to go get the iron and iron it on, which isn't that big of a deal, but
But we
it's
didn't
a-
want to take it out of the embroidery hoop. And then when
Right.
you're trying to iron with an embroidery
it's
hoop,
a pain.
it's very awkward.
But this just makes it so much easier because you can just leave it in the sewing machine in the hoop, and you just slap it in there. It's just all sticky. If you didn't get it in the right place, you can just pull it up, reposition it, move it. It's the first time I'd used it too because I knew about it and I thought it was awesome, but I hadn't actually seen it tried yet or used it myself, and I'm like, oh, I love this stuff now. This is my new favorite thing.
It saved a lot of time and it saved a lot of mess.
Right.
And then when we were ready to do the applique embroidery, all we had to do was very gently place it and smooth it into place, and it was already holding things together for those tack down stitches and the satin stitches.
It's just I can't even say how much I
And-
like the stuff.
For me, my favorite part was using that in combination with the Memento cutting machine,
Yeah.
because we didn't have to put a big piece of fabric down, then remove the hoop so that we could put it on a flat surface and trim more easily. And we
Yeah.
didn't have to worry about how well
Definitely.
we were trimming and
No.
if we were going to have little pieces of the fabric
Exactly.
fibers sticking out of our satin stitches.
So perfect.
So everyone really was happy with the product and the process.
And we got through with the project on
On
time
time.
both days.
on time.
It was awesome. What was the other thing I was going to say about it?
Well, I think
Oh,
while you're
left.
thinking of that, the other
Okay.
thing I'd like to mention is this was designed as a mini wall hanging, and with some of our participants, they said, well, I'm not going to bind this. One of the individuals was planning to make a tote bag and have this be the center panel in a tote bag. Another one was planning to use this as the center panel in a vest that she was going to make for her teenage granddaughter, I believe.
Oh, I think that'll be a really
And
great idea.
So I thought that would be really fun.
Yeah.
And you can really use this quilted piece for so many other things.
Yep. Super cute. It's awesome. We'll come back around and sit back down over here. We'll switch back over. No reason to make you stand up. There we go. Here, oh, I guess if I point back at that. Yep, it was a fun day, I'll tell you here.
Do you want me to talk about these
Yeah,
pieces
please
that
talk
they can
about,
see?
yeah,
So
they
I
can
think
see 'em.
you can see this quilt with the big flower on it.
yeah, let's
And-
switch to 2 and you can see it from the side, see how?
This was something that I had seen walking down the street in Golden, Colorado.
The quilt was walking down the street?
No, the quilt was not. I was walking down the street, not the quilt. And it was hanging in the door of a shop, and I thought it was really pretty because I love black and white, as you can tell. And with the black and white background and then just the splashes of color. So I had seen this and actually took a picture of the quilt hanging in the window. And then I went home and used the Creative 8 software to design these petal pieces. This was actually a shape that was built in. I don't know if you want to show them that in the software, Sally? Have you done that before? Can you project the your computer screen up there
No,
to the?
let me see. Okay,
So
I'm gonna see if I
I
can
used
do
the
that.
Memento.
Is it
crafting
in? Is it
stuff.
in the?
It's in
is the
Creative
shape in
8.
Creative 8? Okay.
So we just want to cancel out of that screen and go back to a clean canvas. And you can see all the rocks up there. Those.
Hold on a second. Let me. Okay, I think I can switch. Okay, wait.
So I designed this shape for the petal, then made them in different sizes and cut them out of random pieces of fabric. I had purchased a few different fat quarters for this project. I did use iron-on fusible, and then I fused all of these in place, and then I used the sewing mode and used just the narrow satin stitch. This quilt was actually stitched out on the Epic 3 because that's a machine that sits in my cabinet and it's the most comfortable for long periods of sewing. And I really loved the black and white fabric, and when I decided it was time to get out of my comfort zone a little bit this year, I decided to stop making blocks with 90-degree angles and try some kind of curve. So at that point, I dug out the instructions for the Drunkard's Path
Okay,
block.
so now they can see the Okay, now they can see. Can they see that? Let me just go to Facebook. Okay. Yeah, so now you can see this Creative 8 window here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna go. This is experimental. Okay, so those were the stones. So we're gonna do a new. We're gonna select all. Select none. Okay, delete. So where do I find the shape?
So now if you go into the shape menu over on the left-hand side, or you can do it at
Insert
the top.
shape?
You can go up on the top to object and add,
Okay.
and then a shape. And then if you scroll down, you'll see a petal shape somewhere down there. It was further down.
Looks like that one.
Yeah, it looks like that one, number 79. And then I duplicated that and then made some that were smaller. And one of the features I love in the Creative 8
change
software
Hold on a second.
is the ability to fill the mat with shapes.
Right now we're on a 24 by 24, but I think I'll do a 12 by 12 the other way.
Yeah, and when you see those red lines, it always makes me crazy because something is out of the workspace. And it felt like when I was starting, I had
There
so
we
much
go.
trouble moving things around, but
So
finally.
we can, I'll duplicate it, and then we'll make a bigger one. Like that. And then we can fill the workspace. Multiply. Da 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 da. Oh no. Wrong. Select all. Select none. Select all. It's always great when you have a really good demonstrator like me doing it.
You can only,
I can only
fill
use
the
this.
workspace with a single
Okay,
object.
so we'll just do a row of these. No, that's not what I want to do.
I always like when we do this kind of live thing, as we're learning or trying something new.
No.
It's very encouraging to me to see that people that are really enjoying the process or the
There
product
we go. Whoops.
can
Wait.
have those. You
Ah!
have to actually pick apply after you
Okay,
do that.
well that would be
you have
wise.
to
wouldn't
scroll
it?
down
And hit apply.
and hit apply.
Okay, and now we'll go back up to here. Add more in. Yeah. Let's stinky apply. Then. So now we would just tell it to cut.
And so now you can put the fabric on the mat and start it cutting, and it doesn't need constant supervision. So you can actually go back to the sewing machine and work on something while those pieces are
I
cutting.
just send it to the machine. Manage machines. There's my machine. We're not going to do this because
Well, we don't
it's
have
just a bad
fabric set
idea.
in
Yeah,
there
we
right
don't
now.
have anything on a paper. So now we're going to figure out how to get back to video capture device. Oh, look.
And that was actually my very first Memento project. I made this about 1.5 years ago when the Memento came out. And I love the black and white, and I decided that I needed to try something a little more challenging with curves. And my grandmother had made a really beautiful Drunkard's Path quilt that is still in my family. So I thought I would try cutting those pieces. And they're curved pieces with both a concave and convex curve. So I found that I got an SVG file for that and was able to use that on the cutting machine, and I did resize it and was able to cut both the inner and outer pieces. And what I found is they were really very easy to sew together because they had been cut so precisely on the Memento. And this is the same kind of idea, but I used the Drunkard's Path block and then cut out flowers and the leaves on the Memento and did a little bit of thread painting in the floral centers. So it was a really fun project to work with, and I'm actually teaching a class similar to this at the OSQE shows this year.
Cool.
And I got so excited and carried away with all of those Drunkard's Path blocks that I cut that I had extras and used them in this project. So you can see the Drunkard's Path orphan blocks in there. Made a little pocket out of this,
Neat.
and then a drawstring top on the bag.
Awesome.
And this class is also being taught at OSQE by my colleague and friend Christine Harlan.
Awesome. So if you guys are going to OSQE, you should go visit. Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, that is awesome. So you see, there's all sorts of things that you can do, and it's sad that you missed coming to see us today. Now I'm all choked up. Sorry. Pardon me. I told I told Cindy I would have to see if we could get Christine to teach us a class too. So we'll see.
She does love to come to California.
So, but it's just been awesome having Cindy here because she's just given us so much information. I'm going back over to 3. And there I am over here. Oh, here we go. So, you can see why it's so nice to have a memento or a cutter. A lot of you have other cutters, but it's so nice to have a cutter. So nice to use that instant applique. So nice to have an embroidery machine because it's nice to do the quilting in the hoop.
It really is. It just takes a lot of stress off your hands when you can do
does.
that.
It does. It just gives you a little bit of accuracy. I'm gonna quilt. I didn't quilt the little mini quilt from the mystery quilt. Jimmy Free Motion stippled that for me, but I am going to quilt the last one I did. I always forget its name. It's not Luau. That's the next one. Anyway, and it's not Aloha, but I need to do that one, and I'll do that one in the hoop also. So, and there's all sorts of things you can decorate. Costumes, if you do cosplay, you can decorate those costumes. And Cindy was reminding me how much I like to use a serger, so that's in a whole nother ball game. But
Well, especially when you're doing cosplay and things where you have all kinds of unusual fabrics that really like to fray.
yeah, the serger's excellent for that. And even what we did today is serge the outside of the quilt before we put the binding on, because that held everything together and made it easier to do the binding.
And
It's another
I
tip.
really like it when I'm using our quilt binding attachment because it flattens the edges
Oh,
and
okay.
so it feeds into the binding apparatus much more easily.
Yeah, I should have done that on that little. I used the quilt binder on the mini quilt, Lucky Duck, Lucky Break, whichever that was, and I did have problems with that folding over on me. So if I had just serged that edge, I would have probably been happier. Of course, I could have just put a fancy serge on the edge and called it good
Called
too.
it good too, right?
Ah!
Without the binding.
Yes, that would have been good. But I like the binding. The little grass fabric's good too, so it looks good with the binding. So I'm happy.
It looks great.
So, but now I can't wait to do a few more things. So a few more squirrels have run by for me to chase. So I have a lot of squirrels to chase here at El Cajon on back. So I have a couple of classes that Jan Legrone is. We have a new class scheduled for Jan Legrone for Quilting 101 in case anybody's wanting to teach the new 101 class. I'll get that on the schedule. What did we say? That was going to be in March, starting in Sunday, I think.
I thought so, but I
Sunday,
wasn't paying
yeah.
attention because
Yeah.
I'll be
I
back in
wasn't
Michigan.
paying attention either. I have it written down. And if any of you are interested in a sewing and embroidery machine, please come talk to us because they're super fun. So, thank you all for watching. We certainly appreciate you taking the time to watch. And I messed something up here. There we go. Well, Cindy won't be here next Thursday.
No, I won't.
But thank you so much for joining us, Cindy. It's been a total pleasure having you here on Rambling Thursday. She was like, "What do we do on Rambling Thursday?" I said, "We ramble." That's what we do. We ramble. So
I've never had an official time for my ramblings before.
Yeah. No, we ramble. Thursday, 5 to 6, somewhere around there. That's when we ramble. Yeah. And we have an official drink for Rambling Thursday. It's a bramble.
Bramble.
And that's a real drink, too. It's an English drink, and it's gin. It's blackberry gin. It's pretty dang good, to tell you the truth, when you can find one. But anyway, and I've heard that we're supposed to drink more, so it's okay. Except I'm not supposed to drink with my meds, so maybe not so much. All right, well, wherever you all are, I guess you're over here. All right, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you all. Come and see us. We are still open. We are not closing, contrary to strange rumors that have been occurring. And we thank Cindy very much for coming. If you're at the Road to California,
I will be in the FOF booth there.
go visit her at the FOF booth and tell her hi. And we will see you next Thursday, somewhere between 5 and 6, because you know I can't. Despite everybody's attempts to try and make me do this at exactly some time on Thursday, it's impossible, so don't ask me to do that. All right, we'll talk to you later. Thanks for coming. Bye-bye.